Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez at FunnyAida, and this is another episode of the Jokes Only Zone, where we come here every week on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and we work out new jokes. Every week I have some comedians stop by, and they work out jokes with me. They work out their own jokes. They help me with my jokes and vice versa. But I just want to say thank you to those of you who have been supporting me on this platform. Many of you show up, and I appreciate you sharing the content, liking it, and making donations and all of the stuff that you have been doing. I just want to say thank you for that. Today, we're going to continue on. Hey, Rodney. Rodney Perry is back. Get well soon. We love you. I'm salty that I don't get the 7 a.m. phone calls anymore. But anyway, today I have two amazing, brilliant comedic minds joining me. We are friends, and me and these two people have our own versions of trauma bonding. And we have anytime you're a comedian, you have friends in comedy who are comedians, there is trauma bonding because comedy is traumatic. I want to say I hear you when you ask me for the people that you want to see. So Yamaneika is here and Ruben Paul is here. Rodney Perry is in the comments shouting us out, who's another comedian. And anyway, welcome, my friends. Mm-hmm. I can say friends without feeling like weird. You know, you ever call somebody a friend and you know they ain't shit, and you be like, "That's my friend," and then you feel like dirty on the inside because you know that person don't mean you no good.
Absolutely, absolutely,
exactly. They don't give a fuck about you.
So, what we do is we throw out premises. We work out new jokes. We do everything comedy. Anything we talk about, we turn into a joke. We don't have any heavy conversations here. We're not talking about any other heavy shit that's going on, and we just gonna make jokes. And so what we do is I kick it off with a premise of my own, and then we just evolve from there. Everybody brings their own stuff. Shantae's been on, Godfrey's been on. We've been working out some really interesting jokes. So today, as I talked to Ruben the other day, and today I talked to Yamaneika today, my premise, because I'm going to be using this for my next whatever I take, is I quit social justice last Friday. That's my premise.
About damn time, nigga.
Me too. We said we put our capes down.
You can't be a comedian.
No. Yamaneika be making me want to fly to New York. I'm like, who is fucking with Yamaneika now? Bitches, like, what the fuck is going on here?
Because this is first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me. That's one, and thank you for everybody who requested me and this young gentleman Zay, and also I want to send a get well to Rodney Perry as well. So there we go with that. But yeah, you know, the world is crazy right now. So, you know, we've been talking about a bunch of things, and I'm glad we have this platform just to do, talk about comedy because shit, I don't know. One day I'm a politician, and next day I'm a comedian. Then I got to be somebody's grandmother. I ain't even had kids yet. It's, people calling me their auntie. I don't have, it's like, I'm not your aunt.
I hate that shit. That, you know what? That's a microaggression for some people. That is sometimes a younger person trying to put you in your place and make you seem like you're older than them.
Right.
So you're like, that's my auntie. Bitch, you look old. You ain't gonna tell nobody I'm your auntie to try to make me seem like I'm older than you.
That's
you
right.
look old if you got to tell people I'm your auntie.
Nigga, I'm barely your play cousin. So I know I ain't your auntie.
And they do it in Spanish too. They hit you with the titi. That's letting you know.
Oh my God.
Oh,
at least y'all get OG.
Huh?
It's TT in Spanish?
TT in Spanish, yes. That's their way of saying you old.
That makes a lot of sense now because I thought some nigga was talking about my titties, but I think he called me his auntie. I gotta make a couple of phone calls. Hold on. I got some wires crossed last week. Excuse me.
Ruben, what they call you to call you old? What's the
nigga? OG, like motherfucker, I ain't no gangbanger, motherfucker. And here's the thing: it's these young niggas with old faces who be telling you that shit too. Like, nigga, you look my age, nigga. Like, you OG Junior, motherfucker. So, but real quick, shout out to Rodney Perry. Rodney Perry's doing fine. I talked to him the other day. So yesterday we talked, and then he hung up on me.
Rodney, you gotta come do this show next week because we gonna roast your ass when you get on this show.
Rodney ain't got shit to do. He could come on here.
We want to get you. You go
with his COVID ass. He could come on here.
Put you up, and we gonna play your Angela Rye clip right behind your ass, right? When you get on here. Nobody gets out of this. That's what we do as comedians.
Oh my God. So I didn't realize women got the ageism thing like that, calling you auntie. And
yeah, we get it all the time. And you right, it do be these old looking niggas. It's like, well, I was born in 1995. Well, nigga, you got a face look like you was on an episode of Sanford and Son. So I don't look that old to be your damn aunt.
Hey, but this is what I love about Rodney Perry. Rodney Perry said, fuck it, I'm gonna go by Uncle Rodney. Shut y'all niggas down before you can shit on me.
He's
No, women age out quick. I want people to know that I'm young because I'm trying to be the next That's So Raven on the Disney Channel.
Yo.
I can see some shit in the future too.
Oh my God. I didn't even know Yamaneika was gonna be on here. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy you here too. You know you my brother.
Yo, I love you, y'all. You guys are two of my favorite. Funny, like this is an example on how women are funny, and that whole bullshit that people try to put on women saying women ain't funny. I can attest to it on a weekly basis on my show, and both you guys have killed my show. So
yeah.
That I always say that every time, if you ever see a man on a thread saying that women are funny, I guarantee you he ain't had no pussy in the last 10 years. Every time you see this, they're just not funny. Women are just not funny. And then you're like, oh, he has not. He's an incel. Check it for guns.
Yes. How crazy. Look what Rodney Perry said. He said Raven 57 years old. And that's true.
Yo, that's fucking hilarious. Oh shit.
So you ever got into a fight with somebody on social media and realize you giving them therapy for free? You just be like, you realize you like, oh, I'm a trick right now. I'm a therapy trick.
Aida, tell everybody what you said you did the other night and had me in tears. You'll wait for somebody to write a whole long thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this girl, I have posted this thing on Instagram with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. I posted a meme that said, when you can't kill her because you don't want her to be with Tupac. It's Will crying, and all the comments though were laughing, right? And then of course here they come. Somebody was like, I am so disappointed in you, Aida Rodriguez. You are perpetuating violence against women of color, and this is unacceptable.
Oh.
I didn't even think about it.
Oh.
But so this person started putting all these comments, and it was like, you know what, Kermit, like typing, right? And she did about 9, and then I deleted that bitch. So she did all that work for nothing. So good. I was like, this bitch put in 18 words, a real essay. And I was like, shoot, that red. I swiped to the left, hit that red, and knocked that motherfucker out. I was like, there you go, bitch. That's the activist.
Yeah, bitch. I hope you copied and pasted.
Yo, some of my favorite shit to do is to go back and forth with somebody, and then I get the last word, then I block them.
Yeah.
Like, you out of here, bitch.
Yeah. No, I got twice. I got twice last week. I didn't get got. I responded to 2 different things from friends of mine. And you know, we have a lot of people that follow us, so we don't always get the notification on when somebody says something back to you if you respond. And one of the things was I got tagged last week in a post again saying women aren't funny or something like that. And the guy tagged all these women who he thought was funny. And some guy said something about, yeah, well, women aren't funny. And you know when you just be having time, you know what I'm saying? Like I had so much time. I was looking around like, Lord, is there anything else I could be doing right now? And the Lord came back. He said, no, my child, you got time. So I responded to the nigga and I said, well, thankfully, no woman is waiting for your validation on whether they are funny or not, because you just one lonely motherfucker whose opinion doesn't even matter to their mama. And
damn.
You know, and then I went on about my way, and then like 4 hours later, I had got the notification that he responded, and it was like 4 hours sitting there, and I was like, oh, this nigga think he got me, because he said, I went to your page, and I can see just by perusing your page that you got a long way to go when it comes to comedy. And so then I checked with the Lord again, right, to see if I had any more time. And he said, yes, my child, you still have time. So I went back to the nigga, you know, and I said, well, thankfully, I make 100% of my living on comedy, not your motherfucking opinion. And I know I just got an ad, right? I said, I don't know who, I got like 4 more followers, and I can guarantee you one of them. You understand? Because I know that right now in your world, you like, damn, I ain't never seen a bitch this hilarious, and you can't get over it. Because never in your motherfucking wildest dreams did you think you become my number 1 fan, you bitch. And the 3 other people that follow me is your mama, your girl, and your side bitch. And if you fuck around, I'll fuck them bitches, and I'm not even gay.
Yo, it's just funny that motherfuckers would take the time to tell you you not funny, and they sitting in a motherfucking cubicle and you making a living.
Nigga, cubicle, you giving away too much credit. Them niggas be working and stopping you commenting from the break room at Burger King, nigga. Okay, nigga, you just found out where the code is on the new register at Burger King. Please.
Oh shit, nigga, that's hilarious. Hey, I got an observation. I don't know if I'm gonna do this on stage, but you know how, you know, everybody, you know, the stereotype is brothers like fuck with white women, they like white women. But black women fuck with white women too, because the last 5 black lesbians I've seen, they all have white girlfriends.
Yeah.
What have y'all noticed? You noticed that, y'all?
Yeah, because when black bitches turn into niggas, black bitches got to be niggas all the way through. So they gotta pick up the whole thing. They can't just pick up the but they gotta pick up the self-hate and all that other shit gotta pile on top of it. They gotta out nigga a nigga.
Oh shit, well, hey, maybe I will take that on stage, but I can't say it like you, y'all. I can't say it like you.
Well, some of the things may have to change because LGBTQ might come down a certain way. You know, you might, you know, but still, that's part of it. That's really the reality.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I know all of them be fucking having they be having white girlfriends. That shit is hilarious to me. I was like, oh, okay, so shit, it runs deep.
Yeah, and black women over here going, well, damn, we can't get niggas and want to be niggas either.
Wanna be niggas.
I thought I could at least get me a part-time nigga. I can't even get a part-time nigga. A halfway nigga.
A wannabe nigga. Oh shit. What you got? What you got, Ida? What you got?
That just reminded me of a joke that I've been working on that got me banned from a club. That I said the reason that some black men date white women is because it's on the way to homosexuality. Because white girls be letting them do whatever they want them to do, and we be like, they put what where? They be like, they be like,
who the fuck banned you over that? The VFW?
they'll be like, they're the only ones that they'll be like peanut butter, a dog, I'm in, and
Yeah.
police on you. We like, yo, he trying to fuck a dog. Come get this dude.
Niggas, I didn't know niggas be having them type fantasies. Shit.
Yeah, I said that was why some of the black and brown men that you see dating white women is because white women let them do whatever they want, and so I was saying, and a lot of those dudes sometimes be gay, and they're just on their way to being gay, and the white women are the final frontier, and so don't be offended, women of color, because sometimes it's not even about you think it's because you not all that, and it's because they just trying to get to Karen's brother.
Mm-hmm. That's true. A black woman will cut the lights on quick. Hold on a second, nigga. What was that? What's that? What's that? A saber? What is that? You got to go. And black people call white women for you. Hold on a second. I got a girl for you. Yeah, I got a nigga over here. Yeah, he already ready to go. He done lubed up something look like a saber. Okay. I got your Uber going over there to damn Karen.
And he got a dog. He brought a dog with him. I don't know what that little motherfucker doing here.
He coming out with the dog.
The dog got a bib on. Why the fuck you got a bib on? Why the fuck the dog got a bib on?
The dog be going to Petco looking for biscuits and dildos.
So I got banned from a club where the white comedians could say whatever they wanted about people of color, but I made that joke and it was offensive. And I was
No, Karen gets upset. Karen, excuse me, I need to see the manager right now in the middle of this show.
It's such a double standard in comedy on what, certain, like I always hear black comedians being painted with the brush of being dirty. And then you'll see a white comic go on there and be saying some of the most heinous, filthy shit you've ever heard that's out of context, and they're not labeled the same way. It's
brilliant. They're called brilliant and brave and bold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bold, edgy. They call them edgy.
Yeah.
Instead of dirty, they call them edgy. They call us dirty. They call them edgy. That shit is crazy.
But I make fun of everybody though. That's the point of this, right? Like, here we go. I'm about to get somebody mad again. Like, you ever notice when Black American dudes become Muslim, they develop a Middle Eastern accent?
Do the accent. Do the accent.
They don't be like, I'm Muslim. I convert. He'd be from Kentucky. They'd be like, I'm Muslim. I'm Muslim. So I'm like, all of a sudden, this all suck up right here. They'd be like, Muslim. I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
My ex was like that, and I brought him home to my mom, and my mom was like, "You from Georgia?" I like that for her. She was like, "You want some bacon? You want some bacon?"
Yeah.
No, mommy, he don't eat bacon. He Muslim. And my mom was like, "He don't eat bacon, but he eat pussy."
Yo.
That's
That's my mom.
Okay, can we talk about this for a second?
Mm-hmm.
During this COVID quarantine time, if I see another motherfucker who ain't graduated from high school trying to tell me more than what doctors know,
Oh
Lord,
these online geniuses always got some shit to tell you that they know. Like, motherfucker, ain't nobody checking for your conspiracy. Where are you getting your conspiracy theories from? Now, don't get me wrong. I do think there's some bullshit going on. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm gonna wear a fucking mask if that's what they're gonna say to wear. But I don't need somebody that I know who ain't even got their GED arguing with me, trying to drop some science about what's going on in the world. That shit makes me laugh every fucking time. I don't get it.
He arguing with you while they wearing a mask. It's like, well, nigga, if you don't believe in it, take the mask off.
You see, when Farrakhan delivered his speech, he had a mask on.
And a ventilator too. The nigga was on a ventilator, didn't even need one. Shit. Why you out here social distancing, nigga? You ought to be telling me this right to my face.
Yo, I saw the funniest tweet today that said, overnight I watched all these medical experts turn into explosion experts.
Yeah.
Oh, you cannot trust. I'm working on a bit now. I don't know what. If something don't sit right with me, I gotta, because we're in a very black, aggressive black time that we've never been in before. Everybody black and they know they black and everybody chipping down on black. Mm-hmm. So I can't just come out with the shit like I would normally come out when we didn't have no unity. But as soon as I saw that black woman doctor with that afro and they gave that bitch the mic, I said, you cannot trust niggas that look like niggas that white people done gave the mic to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or ever. Not
They don't never give us the mic for nothing. So it's like when they give us the mic.
Yo, Nick, she had the white choir behind her too.
Yes! I think that was it. I think that was the problem. She had all these white niggas behind her.
I know. Like she Aretha Franklin or some shit.
And none of them niggas blink. None of them blink. Like when it's more than two niggas that don't blink, it's called blunk. None of them blunk. They was all.
There was nobody blunking.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in the name of Jesus, I know Jesus really get tired of some of these niggas because they be coming out talking about Jesus done told them she the only nigga in town. Everybody got 100% success rate. Niggas dying all over the globe. But she want you to come to her place and get some healing and some barbecue chicken. No, bitch. I don't.
Healing and barbecue. I need the combo number 3. I need the healing and barbecue.
Right. Let me get a number 3. Let me get hydrochloroquine and some barbecue chips.
Shit. And what you want for your drink?
Hydrochloroquine with ice.
Your chloroquine.
Hey, write this shit down, Yamaneika. Write it down.
You write it down. It's your joke. It's your
joke. That's you.
This is how you create a bit. No, but then the DVD man gonna be the hookup man gonna be at the barbershop with them hydrochloroquine tablets. You gonna get it with the free DVD with the old Tyrese. Talk about how Tyrese get canceled every week. You gonna get Baby Boy with hydrochloroquine.
No, but here's the thing though, and Yamaneika just touched on it. When you're watching Fox News or any type of, they always find a nigga to trot out.
Yes.
Is there a hotline? Is there like a temp agency for sellout niggas that they could just trot out to say exactly so they can go, see, black people are saying the same thing and they don't realize we don't even listen to them.
When Bill and I don't know Bill Gates' wife, Billina, or whatever her name is, when Bill and Billina was sitting in a commercial and they was on couch, you can't never trust a white couple and they sitting in individual armchairs. And their legs is crossed, and them niggas said, "Oh, we imploring all the black people." Everybody, they said, "No. We want the white people to move out the way. Just black people, come on. All the black people need to try it." I said, if these niggas don't, in the time when they got Tuskegee and Tulsa and all this shit, you think I'm gonna be the first nigga in? I'm telling you, that Popeye's chicken sandwich was their first test to see how fast niggas move when it comes to some shit because they gonna offer that Popeye's chicken sandwich with a lot of hydrochloroquine and some biscuits. Is gonna be getting that shit to buy tomorrow, and they gonna put it on the Migos menu. I'm telling you, Popeyes is at the heart of this shit. I'm telling you, Popeyes been fucking around. They done made a Migos menu. When they brought the Migos menu to the Uber Eats, I called 4 of my white friends. I said, "Do y'all have?" It was like, "No, what is that?" I said, "Oh, they killing niggas because none of the white people had the Migos menu. Only niggas had the Migos menu with a $5 off on hydrochloroquine with biscuits."
The Migos menu.
Did you see it, Ruben?
No.
That's a real thing, though. That's a real. They had a Migos menu.
They did. They did. Wait, keep going. I'm gonna read y'all the Migos menu because I did a whole episode on my podcast. I was pissed off. One of the Migos options, because I don't, you know how I know all the members of Migos? Because them niggas each individually got their own platter on the Migos menu. Even the one that don't nobody really know or fuck with, the Takeoff or whatever his name is, the low rent one, the one that don't got a girl or no pussy or no money. The third nigga, because it's 3 niggas, but you only think it's 2 niggas. The Migos is literally the Destiny's Child of rap because the barely knew Michelle and Kelly was only there because Tina Knowles and them adopted her when she was 3 years old. That's what the Migos is Destiny's Child when it come to rap.
Oh shit, you are killing me, Nick.
Oh my God. She said the Migos are the
Migos of fucking rap. I mean, the Destiny Child of rap.
Yeah. Go ahead, read that menu.
I'm pulling it up now. All I know is every round of it comes with a large mashed potato. Here we go. And I'm telling you, and the Migos, they are you see how niggas will sell you out? Now them niggas is getting, yes, look at them niggas.
Hey.
All, look at Cardi B husband telling everybody to be quiet. That's some symbolism shit. Shush, I don't want nobody to know, shush, that we selling niggas short.
Wow.
For $46, $46.99, you can get 20 tenders.
But hey, here's what's fucked up. Nigga, we owe MC Hammer an apology.
For what?
Because when he did the fucking chicken commercial, everybody was killing him and Mary J. Blige.
No, I'll give MC Hammer. I don't remember his. I'll give him a pass. But Mary J. Blige sung all the ingredients to a chicken tortilla. I mean, we can't never let her go on that.
Remember she went high pitch when she said she went.
I never heard it.
You never? Can we play it?
Irina, can you pull it up, please?
Yeah, pull it up.
No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Some shit.
You can't get off without watching it. You have to
watch it.
No, I love Mary J. I don't want to.
It was the first time Mary J hit all the notes. We've been waiting for her to hit all the notes. She ain't never got all the notes right until white people wanted her to Chicken George over some Burger King chicken tortillas.
And now she sound like Whitney. She hitting high notes like Whitney and Mariah Carey now. Did you say 2-piece?
we getting canceled tonight, so we might as well just go.
Get all the notes for 2-piece. Oh shit, man.
Oh my God, I got a headache.
Let's see if Irina can pull up the video so we can see it.
I hope so.
It is comedy all by itself. Let me ask her.
Oh my God.
She said she's working on it.
Oh my God. I heard about the Mary J. Blige thing, but I had never actually seen it.
No, but the funny thing in the commercial is there's this white guy in the commercial, and that man's reaction to Mary J. Blige when she takes the note up, he does like this. He's like,
please play it. Please. Now I gotta see it. Yeah, Yama's in tears, so now I gotta see this shit.
I appreciate that, Weirda. They've been trying to cancel me for weeks.
Yo, listen, Ruben, when you see the shit, imagine all the black people is a Monopoly game, right? And we've been going around the board, and we got 3 more tries before we hit payday. And then play this commercial of Mary J. Blige and watch us go all the way back to start.
Yeah, it was my kids would just play it over and over and be like, laugh. They were in awe. They both were like, I cannot believe that she did this, because we love Mary J. Blige.
No.
Yeah, no. I don't know, but Burger King, they got that good money though. That's the problem. Sometimes when there's enough money on the table and you ain't got enough black people on your team, because all she needed was one nigga, even if it was a receptionist, just to be like, let me talk to you for a second. White people will gas you up. No, sure. Well, it's chicken, right? Well, you eat chicken, don't you? Well,
yeah.
Sure.
Oh man,
they're funny. Listen, Ruben, they were like, Mary J. Blige is tall, right? They were like, we gonna put her on the counter.
Whoa, wait, what?
We're gonna put her on the counter, and we're gonna let her perform.
She up there like Big Bird on the counter.
Ruben, they coyote ugly that bitch. You hear me? She was up there dancing, spring dancing. And the Mary J. Blige dance already looked like she kind of got a little bit of, sickle cell or some shit. Like she can't really stand up. And she was doing that on the counter.
Oh, I can copy it.
You breaking up. So I'm trying to work on this thing where I said I was in the middle of responding to a tweet where somebody did for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up. I fell asleep. I put so much energy into, I'm on the bed and I was like, I'm good. And I just fell asleep and I was like, no, none but God. That was the God redirected me to something of more importance. They're like, he was like, bitch, go night night. You ain't got to mind it. Fucking gremlins on Twitter. Like they be coming at you like gremlins on Twitter. It's like if you respond to them, it's like dropping water on a gremlin. Then they multiply.
But here's the thing that we got to be conscious of. We be responding to shit, and we don't really even know who we responded to. It could be a fucking a 12-year-old boy, and we cussing them out, being a civil rights activist, saying all this shit. They don't give a fuck about what we saying. They just trying to get a reaction. And we wait, and I know some comedians, like, they'll post a video of their stand-up and go through and read every damn comment. Like, why are you even doing that to yourself? There's some people that just will come on and say it's whack, even if they don't think it's whack, just to fucking get a reaction out of it. So I don't even read them.
They didn't get a hug that day. Nobody told them that they loved them that week. And then you go, I'm going to go fuck with Aida today. I got a cast on I just got a cast. I fell on some ice in Canada. I got a broken wrist, a broken elbow.
My mama don't love me. Go fuck with Aida.
Coronavirus just hit. I'm in the middle of all this stressful shit, and this 9-year-old fucking with me. And I'm like, when should people let the revolution, bitch? And they 9. They're like, they don't even, you know what I'm saying? It's just so.
Nigga, I told Aida, I argue with this dude who said just because I was Haitian, I wasn't black. Nigga, I was fine. I couldn't see anymore. I was going in on him so hard. Like, motherfucker, read some history and find out the history of the Haitian people. Find out. And then the whole thing was like, well, if your parents aren't from America, I go, where's Farrakhan's parents from? Where's Stokely Carmichael from?
Right,
Where's
right.
Harvey's family from?
Yeah.
Nigga, Biggie Smalls' family from? He ain't black either? Biggie Smalls ain't black? Both his parents are Jamaican. What the fuck you talking about? Anyway, that shit upset me. Somebody just posted a comment. Ian Kerr, what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. I love Mary J., one of the most beautiful women in the world.
No, we love her. Just because you critique somebody doesn't mean you don't like them or love them. And we all that was we all love Mary J. Blige. That was a misstep, and she can get it.
She apologized for it. They pulled the commercial. She said she was like my bad. People have blind spots, like when everybody got to pay their bills, even people like Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Think that you've got a windfall of money falling from everywhere. Sometimes you make bad decisions because you're trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
And they tape a lot of things. People have to understand they tape a lot of things out of sequence. You understand what I'm saying? So she could have been doing a series of different things and not seeing. It's a whole different thing when they put a commercial together after they done taped. They had this scene and that scene and blah, they skipped. So no, I mean, I remember when I did a roast battle and Black Twitter came for me and Jamar crazy, and they was calling us coons and Aunt Jemimas and Uncle Toms because we was calling each other black and saying the N-word and blah 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 blah. And then and it was people that hadn't even done their research on me. You understand? Because one of the things I always said was they act like we were specifically doing that for each other. I said, but you didn't watch the other 5 times that I battled and won and beat white guys, calling them niggas too and talking about them. So sometimes people have to do their due diligence on their part to understand, what's really going on. So no, we got love for Mary J. Blige, but she, we're comedians and things can be made laugh. Sure.
And I think you can critique without it's an individual thing that doesn't erase her whole entire career.
Mm-hmm.
And that one thing that we found out of line or funny, whatever, that doesn't erase her great legacy of being one of the best to ever do it. So
and that's what makes that's what we don't like about Trump supporters. The fact that Trump supporters can never criticize Donald Trump. That makes you a cult member, not a member of society. We make fun of everybody because at any given moment they make fun of us. We clown each other. The internet clowns us for sure.
Yo, that nigga said, I've done more for black people than any other person, maybe Abraham Lincoln. I said, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's the name he knows, though. He only knows 2 other presidents, Obama and Abraham Lincoln. Those are only 2 he ever references. He don't know that a bunch of presidents in between the 2 of them. He don't know them. Johnson. He was like, Johnson, who is that? There was no black president before Obama. What you mean, Johnson?
He's out of touch. He's the same man that said he didn't start with nothing. His father only gave him $1 million to get things off the ground.
Come on.
So, we can't. I want to say this. I'll say, getting back to the joke about Aida not completing that joke, I think it would be funny to reference, how, and I mentioned something to you earlier when we were on the phone, Aida, and I was talking about how people just wear themselves out like toddlers.
Yes.
So you did something and referenced that and the act out of how you just let after a while when you don't want to, when a kid is being bad, parents just let them wear themselves out, and then they exhaust themselves while they're having a tantrum and they fall out. So it'd be funny to see you act that out and be like, I said, bitch, you get on my nerve, you bitch, and what? Like you finally fall asleep or something. You've had this like internet tantrum.
Or you can just take the phone and go, no.
Yeah.
You just slam the kids, when they get tired of shit, they put a period on it for you. No,
throw it.
Oh, you know what? But that's what I do to what I do to some people, which I do on your show, Ruben, when people will tweet me like these long ass tweets accusing me of stuff, I respond, nah. And that makes people very angry. That makes them want to fight you. When you be like, nah.
Yo, you want to see a woman go crazy? If she sends you a text that's like 3 fucking paragraphs and you just say, okay, nigga, she gonna show up at your house.
I was getting ready to say, I'm coming to your crib.
Listen, don't put that on women only, because that's a good. We don't even put the O on there when we fucking with a dude. We just throw that K up and hit that.
That's when you know. That's a sure sign you know a woman is mad. And when you just get the K, you be like, nigga, I gotta go. I gotta go. She mad.
No, that's a good way to sun somebody when somebody be like, well, I don't think, right now, you be like, K.
Okay, got you.
When you hit with the third K, that means you about to get blocked, son. Like, we about to be done forever.
My favorite insult to people when they fucking around with me, especially men online, is I like to hit them with you might want to tell your mama it's never too late for a late-term abortion.
Oh, shit.
And tell your mama they still giving out abortions in the 43rd trimester, nigga.
Yamaneika don't give a fuck. And yes, Norman. Yes, Corey Bush. I'm right. I'll be writing down notes because y'all be triggering me for some jokes. So I write them down because there's something always to go further. Ruben, what else? You got some new premises, Yamaneika?
Hold on, let me.
Listen, when is it okay?
Oh, this is a fucked up premise, but go ahead.
No, go.
Like, no, go ahead. I have to think it. It was like when bad things happen to bad people and people act like they surprised or some shit. Like I had a friend who got shot, and everybody's like, "Yo, you hear about he got shot?" And I'm like, "The nigga should have got shot. Like, he's a horrible person." And people always act like they're surprised when bad shit happens to bad people. Or if somebody, or a friend of mine had a heart attack, but he's 400 pounds. Like,
oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And me and you have been on the phone with him, Aida. So, you know what I'm talking about. So, I don't know. It was just a thought.
Yamaneika, he's a comedy promoter.
Hey.
Ruben be saying this shit. He been fucking with his chips, yo. He be messing with his coins.
All right.
Well, he might have to, because if he had a heart attack, he can't promote right now.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You send him some flowers and say, listen, I'm just checking on my shows.
Oh, wait, hold on.
What did you say? Okay.
No, this is a treat for you. Irina's going to play the video.
Oh, thank God.
It's going to inspire.
Exciting things are happening at Burger King.
Welcome to Burger King.
Oh, what's in those new chicken snack wraps?
What's in the new chicken snack?
What's in the new chicken wraps?
Mary?
Crispy chicken, fresh lettuce, 3 cheeses, fresh dressing wrapped up in a tasty flour tortilla. Crispy chicken, wrapped up in a...
The new chicken snack wraps. Come and get it at Burger King.
First of all, she was the only nigga there. That was number one. I'm glad I got a refresher on this fucking commercial. She the only nigga there. White nigga asked the other white nigga, what's in the chicken tortilla? Then the bitch don't know. The white bitch don't know. So then the managers show up. All them niggas did in the first 3 seconds, all this shit done popped off. And he goes, what's in the chicken tortilla? And Mary goes, what's in it? She don't even let the nigga. That's how excited she was. She don't let the nigga finish asking what's in the chicken tortilla before what's in the chicken tortilla? And then She let the white nigga hand it off to her to mouth. Tell him, Mary. No, nigga. Don't tell me to tell them, nigga.
Yo.
My favorite part, though, listen, when she R&B the whole song, she says, wrapped up in
That shit hurt my feelings. That shit hurt my.
They
Her shit
would come out looking like one of the bitches from Greece. And
Yo, she dressed like she in the Matrix and fucking singing about fucking chicken. Yo, her shit must have been getting foreclosed upon. She was they're about to take her house and she did that shit. Something had to be happening.
Do you know how much vibranium she used to get there from Wakanda to sing to the white people in Sweden about some chicken sandwiches? And let me tell you something about white people. And I was doing this joke before we got cut down, but I still can make more of it. But I said, and I first wrote it into the speech I did for historical roast. How the fuck did they let all the niggas in Wakanda die in Infinity War, and we were supposed to be the niggas that could not die because we had vibranium? Even when we have the most indestructible shit, the second we get around white people, somehow this shit don't work. I'm telling you, they setting niggas up for fate. Every nigga in Infinity War died. You tell me Scarlett Johansson needs to save the black warrior women from Wakanda? That shit don't even look right. It don't even look. Scarlett Johansson saved the black warrior women from motherfucking Wakanda. And you niggas got the nerve to talk about y'all still watching the motherfucking X-Men. Fuck the X-Men.
He said Scarlett Johansson. She ain't been through shit.
She ain't been through nothing. Ain't no bitch that uses Vidal Sassoon or herbal essence can fuck with no bitch that puts a perm in her hair once a month.
You are ridiculous.
I'm sick of them with that. niggas are so powerful until they get involved with white people, and all of a sudden white people are kryptonite and we can't do nothing no more. That shit is crazy.
Yeah. The thing I'm laughing about is you really mad about a fantasy movie. and you
know what? That's so hilarious because nigga, that's all we got.
That's all we got.
That's all we got is fantasy because we ain't got no niggas in real life doing nothing.
And here's the cool part. When Black Panther came out, and if you talk to a black person and you go, you see Black Panther? They go, nah. And your mind be like, fucking sell out.
Uncle Tom Coon.
Coon ass nigga. Coon ass nigga didn't go see Black Panther. Sell out.
I'm passionate. That's right. And this is exactly how we wind up being activists also.
Yes.
Stand up, because when you I'm working on a joke right now about $1 Million Listing. And I was talking to Pat Brown the other day, and Pat said, yo, this joke is so funny. I said, but you know why I have to keep working it, Pat? Because if I don't work this properly, I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to rip white people's souls apart. And that's what I've been doing, right? Because you know me, if a white person interrupt my show, that's it. That's it for their ass. They done, okay? So I said, well, I got to figure out a way to make this shit funny, because I've been watching $1 Million Listing, and I think that show is one of my favorite shows. I love $1 Million Listing New York. But you know, one of the reasons why it is so hard for people of color to really make advancements is because we don't have the same networking that they do for mediocrity. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got agents on this show who are making millions of dollars. They making commission off $1 million sales anywhere between $20,000 to $200,000 to $300,000, depending on the property that they sell. But they also have to get references to even sell the property. So it's a lot of conversation like, well, I'm trying to get this deal so I can sell this house, and they're asking questions that are basically like, tell me how white this person is before I let this person sell this property, or before I let this couple buy this house. Like, this couple wanted to buy a house. They got $10 million to spend. They just got $10 million to spend. They like, we looking for a house, $10 million. That wasn't enough. They had to also be like, well, they're, you know, they have this company and they come from this pedigree and they know these people. And I'm just like, this shit is so fucking racist and so exclusionary. But now you watch it on Bravo. I mean, no shit against Bravo, because I love the show, but it's like, we forget all that nonsense that's happening on that show because they put it in a fun, like fast-paced kind of world. But all we watching is white people excluding people of color from having access to have networking like that. Like, they have agents who are making a bunch of money, and it's not because they're smarter than us or they're more talented than us, but it's because they have a network into a group of people that will give them a property to get them off the ground so they can sell it and then flip it and do it. That shit is so fucking racist. So how can I tell that joke on stage when 5 minutes into the joke, I'm cussing white people out because I'm like, that's that. Don't fucking tell me, bitch, you spectacular, bitch, when you being handed every motherfucking thing. That shit ain't funny.
Yeah.
Yet.
But it will be funny though. That's the discomfort of the joke. When a joke comes from something that's of substance like that and is real, and then you're able to turn that into funny, that's how you tell the truth through a joke, right? That's the best way to be able to to make a statement with a joke.
Well, this one thing that I love about comedy is we all know when you walk up on stage, the audience makes a judgment on who they think you are or what you're about. And the fact that one thing that I love, and both you guys are mad aggressive on stage, which I love, is you guys are allowed to see. I'm the friendly Negro. So when I go on stage, and then when I start going in, especially with the new joke, because when you do a new joke, it's a little bit more raw, and then I'll usually do a new bit right up top. These motherfuckers act like they're in shock. They're almost in shock. It's almost like they might expect it from you guys, but from me, it's like, oh my God, you know, Will Smith went crazy. Like, he fucking just started, you know, attacking everybody. Now it's like, nah, I'm, you know, I still have my truth. Just because I'm articulate or whatever, you know, whitewash stereotype you want to put on somebody who speaks well. It's amazing when you're trying to do a joke that's like real, that goes directly to systemic racism or something like that. They feel so offended. They'll like, you know, they'll get up and go talk to managers, and after the show go, yeah, I thought you were funny until you started talking about the, you know, when you started getting into the race stuff and this is like, that shit right there is like, laugh, don't laugh, get the fuck out. But I'm saying all that to say, you just got to keep doing that joke, and the funny is going to come because it's true.
Yeah,
and you'll do it.
They feel betrayed when you don't, because they want you to, and it's everybody who wants to operate from generalizations, right? So not exclusive to white people, because even some people of color will say to me, like, if I'm on a show with somebody who's not as controversial as me, and they'll point out that person was safer. I remember doing a show in Texas with another comedian who we both know and I love, but she doesn't do what I do, and she does it in a different way. And these people of color came up to her and was like, we liked you, you know, you were inclusive with your comedy. And I was like, they were mad because she made the white people uncomfortable, and they felt like responsible for it.
Well, like, that's why I say you got to tell people to shut the fuck up. Like, first of all, I just want to say two things, because it was a comment from Mr. Penn here, Dwayne Penn. He says it was a comic who busted Bill Cosby, and I want to address this, right? Because a lot of times they let comics of color, they like to make it seem like we did something to make another person of color fall. We all knew, if you believe Hannibal Buress is the person that brought to light some fuck shit when it came to Bill Cosby, you wasn't born before 1995. We all have seen information and shit that came out on the papers. The media had been talking about Bill Cosby, but again, they want to make it seem like Hannibal Buress is the one that deliberately went out and tried to bring down Bill Cosby, and in turn, Hannibal's stock goes up while they're bringing down another comic of color, which is all trickery and fuckery. So we have to be very conscious of that, and that's why I don't allow. Most of the time when somebody has the nerve or the gall to heckle me, it is normally the nerve and the gall of some white woman on stage in the audience who decides it's her time to put me in my place because I have too much. It's too much. It's like, who the fuck does this nigga think she is to be up here saying these things and talking this way and making me feel this way? I had a show in Vermont, which is Vermont is so white. I was looking for black people from the time I got to the airport to the time I got into the hotel to the time I walked to the show. I was looking for black people. I was on Tinder in Vermont looking for black people, and there was none. It was one. They said he was coming in the next day, and so I did a joke about these kids and you know just how it is back in the day, growing up in the 80s, and these kids now, how everybody like, you know, pacifying these kids and how they just gonna grow up and be weak because everybody coddling them so much. And I started talking about all of them having peanut allergies. And when I was a kid, nobody had a peanut allergy. And if you had one, they just let you die. Like, you know, like you're useless. You might as well go ahead and cross over because we having peanuts here. So it was a white woman in the audience just starts talking and making a scene. And I look over at her and I said, what's going on here? And she goes, well, my daughter has a peanut allergy, and I don't like that you said something about peanut allergy. I said, well, first of all, bitch, fuck you and fuck your daughter. You understand? Fuck your daughter, because I didn't write this joke knowing that she had a daughter that had a peanut allergy. And on top of it, bitch, fuck you for having a daughter that had a motherfucking peanut allergy, because it sounds like your pussy got a deficit. So when we talk about the thin line to which I get it when Ruben says sometimes you can be nice. I don't think you're a comic. Like, I see some niggas that be tap dancing and shoe shining for white people. You're not doing that. You are a nice, charming comic, right? And so people feel comfortable in laying down themselves to relax in you. When Aida and I are on stage, they don't know if they can relax because we probably done said 6 things before we even got a minute into our set. They're like, oh, you know, I don't know if I can relax because at some point I may be I can get it, right? I could get it from them and what they say. You are somebody who is bringing in people in a fellowship, which I think is amazing, and I try to incorporate more in my act because I don't necessarily want to be cussing people out, but I know that as a woman, especially as a woman of color, we get disrespected a lot while we're on stage because people think they can try us. They wouldn't try a black man sometimes. They wouldn't try a white male comic. The personality that we have put on has been because motherfuckers have tried us from the stage, and then we got to get busy with these niggas. I have told niggas, don't make no mistake. I will jump down off the stage and I will bust you in your fucking mouth. Now, we may both go to the hospital, but we both going. You understand? I might be in ICU, and you might just be getting the inpatient stitches. But nigga, we both going.
You know what I equated to? Like, even with my personality, you know, you meet somebody who's always in a good mood, and if they mad, you think they really mad. They might be mad on a level of 5, but because you've never seen them angry, you think they're fucking a 10. And sometimes like, nah, I'm cool. You just never see this side of me. But the heckling thing, I don't put up with that shit. And it's whether it's hood rooms, white rooms, whatever, any heckler gets destroyed because, again, like you said, from the reverse of your situation, you got to be aggressive on this point. It's the same as a man. Because you light skinned, people think you soft or whatever. So now when they speak up, it's like, nigga, I'm not the one. I didn't grow up in Orange County, motherfucker. Right. I'm not that dude. And then they're surprised. But I will say this: Aida was out of town, but my birthday show was probably one of the best birthdays I've had. For the simple fact, I had like 4 women on the show. I had you on the show. I had Dominique on the show. Tiffany Haddish on the show. And it like and it rocked the whole night. And I remember people coming up to me like, "Damn, that was a great fucking show." And one dude was like, "Yeah," and it was like, "Damn, they're all women." Like, yeah, they're comics, they're comedians first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I love y'all. That's why I always have women on my show, because it's a different point of view. It's like going to a show and seeing all white boys, or going to a show, and then you guys got different voices, which is important. The comics that I like. So.
And you know what, Ruben? And you don't cherry pick. I remember one time I was on a show. It was me and Gina Brion.
Mm-hmm.
And we both had to get back to the city at a certain time. And we had come together to do this show upstate. And we needed to leave. And we couldn't figure out why the guy was, well, I'm going to put Gina on. And then can you give another 10 minutes? Because I'm going to put another guy. And he literally was saying, I overheard him say, well, I can't put two women back to back. But that's also what they say about comics of color too. Like, well, I can't put two black comics, but you can always put white guys back to back to back.
And Ida knows this. Ruby Tuesdays started for a number of reasons, but one thing that infuriated me about this business is I was talking to somebody, and they wanted me to refer a comic for a particular show.
Mm-hmm.
So I referred a black comic, and they went, then it's an urban show. And I said, it's two black comics and two white comics. And I said, let me ask you something. I said, if it's 5 white comics and 1 black comic, you just say it's a comedy show. But if it's 5 black comics and 1 white comic, you say it's a black show.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
April. Because it's racism, and it's like, and it's really funny because the thing is that this is what I wanted to say. They'll say that some of us are ghetto, right? Well, we don't want the show to be ghetto, right? Because talking about Black and brown stories that originate from marginalized areas and low income neighborhoods are considered ghetto. But yet and still, blue collar comedy, which is these white comedians talking about their versions of their ghettos, are some of the richest comedians in comedy. So you only don't want to hear about poor experiences when it comes to people of color, because you exalt white comedians who talk about being broke, they're rednecks. That's their version of that. Yeah. And they become, because Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White, they're some of the richest people in comedy.
Oh, yeah. They're at the top.
They're not poor anymore.
They're torn compared to the kings of comedy. And this is what I want to say also, just to piggyback on this. And also shout out to Reese, who said he saw me on Lights Out. Thank you. I'm glad you watched it. And that's another problem. A lot of people see me on a lot of white shows, and then they come and see me, and then they be like, where the bitch at that was with the colored hair and the zip zap?
Yeah.
I put that bitch in a suitcase. What we have to take responsibility for, and I will say this, it's controversial. These thoughts and opinions are my own. I'm not Ruben nor Aida am I running into this, but I will say this. Recently, I was on a show, and maybe somebody else on this panel was there too, but we're not gonna get to that. And you had all this black and brown talent, but you also had white talent. And then none of the black or brown talent went but so far, because we have to remember, we can talk this shit about how white people marginalize us and shit. And I'm always there to be like, yeah, they do this shit to us. But here's where we have to start taking responsibility too, right? Is the reason why we have urban comedy, and then we have niggas that's on the mainstream, and then people always think I'm a nigga on the mainstream and I'm a mainstream comic, and then they be like, oh, bitch, you can also rock an urban room. Yeah, because I'm just doing comedy, right? I'm not trying to make white people comfortable, and I ain't trying to do no shit to just make niggas comfortable either, right? I'm just doing comedy. If you like the shit, if you don't. Is that we have to let people know that we have a diverse palette as well. Absolutely. We have to stop being very narrow-minded, because that's the one thing white audience will do. and because they do have the luxury, I understand they have more of a luxury than we do. They have a bandwidth that they allow in their community. You can be a redneck comic, you can be a highbrow or like alt comic, all these things, and there's an audience for each one of them, and they come out and they support in large numbers. Yeah. It is hard as a comic Black woman or woman of color, just period. And I just experienced this, I've experienced this, to hit the road, even with the fan base that we have and the comedy that we do, and as funny as we are, and we both been on Netflix. I have a Comedy Central special. Aida's got all her specials. I have an album out that's doing very well. I've done the opening monologue with Jimmy Fallon 5 times, unprecedented. I've always been consistently funny. And then we go to these clubs that don't want to market us like they market the white boys, and they expect us to bring an audience in when they will put this white boys out there. They will run ads that they're coming. They'll give them radio show spots so they can do their shows and get people to come in. And then when we come in, it's crickets, and they expect all our people to come in with no help. This is when we say to Black people and people of color, you have to support us. Because without the support, we always gonna have a nigga night. We always gonna have an urban night, because they get to control what we do when we don't have the money or the resources or the people coming in to say, no, we don't have, it don't have to be no urban night, and you ain't gotta market to us like we only want comics that is gonna be talking about chicken and they baby mamas and shit like that. We want a diverse background.
Here's to piggyback off that. I had a conversation with a club manager. And a lot of times we know when we're working the club, the manager who's running the club isn't the one who booked you. It's booked from a corporate office somewhere, and they just run the club in whatever city you're in. And I'm talking to the club manager, and I glance over at the calendar. You know, you be in there ready to settle and everything. You can see who's coming up in the weeks and everything. And I noticed there was like only one Black comic every month, or 1 week a month. And then I asked him, I go, why is there only one Black comic 1 week a month? It just seems strategic. Like he'd go white, 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 Black, white, white, white. Every month was like that. He said, well, unless you're like Arnez J or Cheryl Underwood or Earthquake, big Black acts that bring, like you said, their own crowd. I said, okay. I said, I get that, but why can't you book 2 of them in a month or whatever, back to back or whatever? And they go, well, we don't want it to turn into an urban room. So I go, you don't want it to turn into an urban room? He goes, that's not me. That's kind of what the consensus is. And then I said, and then they go, and then we'll get guys like you. And then I said, okay. And they go, we just booked you because you're really funny. I go, yeah. And I go, well, there's other comics who are just really funny too. And then he goes, yeah, but we don't necessarily want to book Black comics who just bring everybody. We want our ethnic people basically to bring the ethnic people to the club. Like they don't want a Black comic who's going to draw white people. They got white boys to do that. They want to bring niggas in, or Mexicans or Asians or whatever that niche audience is. They want them to bring that demographic to the club, and then they'll give it to all the other the white acts. And
but
that's just
they don't want to be urban though. They don't want to be urban, but they want urban dollars.
They want the urban dollars.
And they're getting money. It's not like they're not getting money. The problem is also, and I've said this, and this is again, it's going to get political, but when white people decide they don't want something and they're not going to support something, and you can see this with the All Lives Matter and all this, and trying to act like they don't understand why Black people are saying Black Lives Matter and they're protesting, and it's a waste of time for them. Mm-hmm. They take their dollars and they scoop their dollars out. So this is why we're constantly in a perpetual state of pleasing the white masses, because Black people spend just as much, if not more money than white people. But white people are going to take their support and they're going to take their money out if they're not being appeased. Once we learn to have that same mentality, stop going to a club in your neighborhood that's only doing Black comedy once a month, or ask them why they're not putting more everybody can't be everywhere doing anything. People got to go into where their community is and start making changes, because the reality is these white boys don't be selling as much either, and they're giving them the audience that they would already have of people who are coming out to see comedy.
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly. It's just, when you really think about it, it gets really frustrating. You wish, I wish we could have our own. And if you look at all these clubs and all these niche nights, they make the most money for the clubs on that night. Monday nights at the Improv here in Los Angeles is their biggest money-making night. Fat Tuesdays when it was at the Comedy Store back in the day before, Rogan helped blow the Comedy Store up, was the Comedy Store's biggest money-making night. Chocolate Sundays for a long time at the Laugh Factory was the Laugh Factory's biggest money-making night. So you said, but people do spend black dollars, but we have to broaden it. We have to open it up. And I'm grateful that Jamie Masada gave me the opportunity to be able to book a comedy show and be able to book, as many black comics as I want on a show without it being branded an urban show. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But
no, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's still it's
I just
limited.
open it up, so they can see us in a different. I looked at it like this, and Ida knows this because we talked about it extensively. My thing was this, man. I came up doing all black rooms the first 6 years I did comedy. That's all I did. Comedy Act Theater, Birdland West, the Funhouse, J. Anthony Brown, D.L. Hughley. That is what I came up in. But when I started working, quote unquote, mainstream rooms, I saw the lack of diversity. And I said, why can't they just, there's a lot of badass black comics that can kill any fucking night of the week. It don't have to be a black audience for them to do their thing, that are original and funny and not doing all the hacky shit, that are really good comedians, but they don't get the opportunity. So when I talked to Jamie, I was like, yo, let me just book funny comics no matter what race they are.
Mm-hmm.
And just and there's no excuse at Ruby Tuesdays because I get the best white comics, the best black comics, the Latino comics, whatever. So if you don't do well, it ain't because the audience is mixed. That's just on you. So I just think these clubs just need to expand, maybe during this movement of Black Lives Matter and more inclusion and being aware that they are aware that there's so many diverse comics and we don't that are black. We're not monolithic. We all can talk about different things, different experiences. You know what I mean? And I just think that needs to be represented more. And that's what's frustrating, that it always has to be a fucking niche show.
Yeah.
I think two things can be true at the same time. So I think that while we build our own, we should hold people accountable for all of the money that we invest in them, because economics is power. And so when people say, why y'all always trying to get validation from white people in the mainstream? Why don't you just build your own? Because just like it took them hundreds of years to build what they have based on the backs of people of color with free labor, which is why they have the advantage in the first place. There's nothing wrong with demanding the Emmys to show up for us, the Oscars to show up for us, the common clubs to show up for us, because we have invested dollars in making those franchises successful. And so when we say we're going to go build our own table, we've built this table too. We participated in building the table. We are just not allowed to sit at it. So when we have that narrative about we should just go build our own, as if you can build a powerful economic empire overnight, it takes a long time to build that. And so it puts people of color, when you talk specifically about Black people in America, it puts them in a very precarious situation when they're told, when they're saying we're going to build our own table, knowing good and goddamn well that other table took forever to build. How many people did you lose building that table?
Right.
If all of the descendants of the slaves were compensated for all 400 years of free labor that was contributed to this economy, they would be the richest people in the world. I'm talking about, and I'm only talking about the American descendants of slaves, right? So then you talk about the Caribbean descendants of slaves, right? You talk about the descendants of slaves that contributed to the Dutch's economy, to France's economy, to Great Britain's economy. It is a multi-billion-dollar business. So Yes, I think we should build our own. We should have our own comedy club. A lot of comedy clubs became very successful during the Def Comedy Jam era. There were a lot of black comedians who were not considered Jerry Seinfeld that went around the country generating lots of dollars because for a lot of comedy clubs that got to build empires and now are able to employ their discrimination against a lot of the black comedians and brown comedians who come and because a lot of those listen, those comedy nights that have a lot of Latin people on them, the Latinx people, you can say whatever you want about those comedians, but they come out in droves. Uh, Taco Friday, what was the Friday? Refried Fridays at the Improv sold out every single Friday. Chocolate Sundays always sold out.
Yeah.
Mocha Mondays always sold out. And it's because we want to come out and laugh too, and we want to see a reflection of ourselves. So we see when we say we should build our own table, because a lot of people are like, "Why y'all bickering? Why don't you build your own table?" You can't build that table overnight. And mind you, let's not forget that when you still build your table, they set that bitch on fire, right? So it's like there are a lot of factors in this when you're telling black and brown people go build your own. Stop waiting on white people to give it to you. They set your table on fire. The Black Wall Street, what happened in New York, Rosewood, that was building your own table, and they still set that bitch on fire. So when we have to hold people accountable for the votes that we give them, the dollars that we give them, the success that we give them, the shit that they steal from us, and Mark Jacobs, right? Mark Jacobs walking around talking about he invented Nubian knots or Bantu knots. Really?
What?
What?
When did this happen?
That was a couple of years ago.
Ida got me about to go out and march, y'all.
Listen, we need to go back in time because I missed this Bantu knot. I'm so sick of them with their nonsense. And with Bo Derek, and she the reason she started cornrows. And first of all, anybody that says cornrows, it doesn't understand it because cornrows. Okay, so. Yeah. But we got to, I mean, I'm telling you this. And see, a lot of people go, well, Yum, you're so militant. It's not. I said, listen, I put up a picture a month ago, and it was me and my all-white school that I went to for eons. I've been tired of they shenanigans and they damn nonsense because it causes us to have trauma, and it causes us to have anxiety, and it causes us to have to fight through depression because of the oppression and the nonsense that we constantly have to deal with just because we have skin that is not white. But we have to understand that no matter what is being done on the other side that is there to attack us, if we could just stick to fucking together and help one another and build up what we have, we can have our own. But we have to also be cognizant that some of us don't really want us to have our own. We want what they got, and that's the problem.
Yes, the movement. And so why is cool? So when people say things like this, which is why I highlighted coronavirus going on and worrying about funny clubs, shaking my head. See, this is the issue. Like when people don't have the intellectual capacity to have a real conversation
but
with
that's us. Also a troll. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, I'm just going to tell you like this. Nobody with any real intelligence is watching anything through Periscope. And I've learned that. You got to understand all the social media. You got the smarter people is going to be on Twitter because they read. The niggas that got ADD is on Instagram because they can only see pictures. Facebook is for your auntie and them because they got all day to read somebody's entire life story and bibliography. And Snapchat and Periscope is for niggas that got ADD, mentally retarded, and don't know what the fuck is going on. Half of them can't spell, and they hiding behind some profile that they ain't never. You don't see no picture. You ain't got no history of them. So that's why Periscope. I'm always like ignoring anything that comes from there because that's normally where the section is for the people that ain't got no brains.
Yeah, and you said something about going to all white schools, on how that affects you and that trauma. It fucks with your self-esteem. You know what I mean? If you don't have people around you in your immediate family or circle to uplift you after you've been through that trauma of being shit on, and you the only black person in the class, and then they talk about slavery and everybody in the class turns around and looks at you.
Yeah. And
And
to pull a mockingbird, and we got to be quiet because we can't say the N-word, and that kind of stuff.
And I remember, and I equated to this. I remember my friend went and bought his daughter a doll, and she's a Latina, she's Mexican,
Okay.
and his daughter picked the black doll, and he was so happy and proud that his daughter picked the black doll. And I just started laughing. He go, "Why are you laughing?" I go, "When I was growing up, there wasn't no choices of no black dolls. All the dolls was white. And what does that do for a child?"
Yeah.
You know, they think that's what beauty is. Like, they're not beautiful because there's not anything that represents them. It's like, have you ever seen an old man see a gay couple for the first time? Like a 90-year-old man?
I seen it. That was my grandfather. What's going on over there? I said, "Don't worry about it, Papa. Just eat your mashed potatoes." It was too long.
What are they doing over there? What are they doing over there?
But it's a big deal. I remember when President Obama, you know how many black people were crying that were in their 80s and 90s, never thought they would see the day. I was big into the Cabbage Patch doll, and they didn't have enough black Cabbage Patch doll. I remember my grandmother spray painting one of my Cabbage Patch dolls black, you know? And she fucked it up because she also spray painted over his eyes, so his eye, everything was black. And I was so mad at her. I never forget that doll's name was Nicholas, and because it was me, my nickname was Nicky, and they used to say Nicky Nicholas, and I used to carry him everywhere. And I let that nigga sit at home one day when I went to school. I came back, he was black as soot. And
like he cleaned out the oven.
Like, and you know how black grandmothers are. You better appreciate what they did. And I had a little attitude, and I remember she fanned my little hips and sent me upstairs. And I was like, I don't want this, because and she had the splotch marks where the dripping of the black paint was. It was just like the worst job you ever wanted to see.
But maybe a black doll.
She didn't spray paint none of the body, so the body was white and the pit.
So your dog in blackface.
He was the first multiracial doll that Cabbage Patch put out that they didn't know they was putting out. And but I was very glad for my family, because my family they knew the situation I was in, and they reinforced how beautiful black is. So I didn't have, I was always saying something at my school. I remember them spray paint nigga on my locker, and I remember the teachers not wanting to reprimand the boys that did that, but somehow making me responsible, that somehow I had agitated them, that caused them to spray paint that on my locker. I remember one of the little boys having a crush on me and write me a little letter, "Do you like me?" and handing it to me, and it getting intercepted by another student who saw the letter and saying to him, like, "Oh, you like this nigger, you like this dirty monkey, you're a nigger lover." I mean, like, shit that's so in our society. And when we speak out about those things, and when we say things about the experiences that we've been through, somehow we are in a society that flips it back on us and says to us, "Oh, you're somehow racist because you're talking about those experiences," or "You're somehow the person that's being mean because you can't just let it go." And, it is irresponsible for us, I think it's irresponsible for the audience not to expect that at some point, if you are a comic that has any type of level of conscience, that you will have commentary about shit that's happening in our world. That is what we do. We speak on things that are happening around us, and people have to acknowledge that by the time you get it and the shit is funny, and we've worked in some social commentaries for you, we have gone through the grunt work of whatever depressing, fucked up situation that is happening in the world, so that by the time we give it to you, you can laugh at it.
And it should give them hope, because if we're doing it on stage, we've worked through the trauma. So somebody in the audience can look at it and go, wow, I've been dealing with the same thing. They seem to be okay. They made it through on the other side. And that's what great comedy is to me, when you can laugh and make people think and bring perspective. You
Yeah.
know, one thing that I told Ida, I won't do it on this because we've been getting serious, is, I lost both my parents traumatically in a car accident. Now, I know I'm not the only person on the earth who's gone through traumatic loss like that. So I am determined to be able to come up with something really funny that can make people know that they're not alone in those things that they go through. And to me, that's what's dope about comedy. When you hear like if somebody's talking about abuse, I think Ida has a joke about abuse. Or when people talk about different things like that, if you're a woman in the audience, if you're a person of color, if you're whatever you are, if somebody is saying something on stage that you're dealing with privately, to me, that shit is dope. I love seeing comedy like that. When somebody talks about they used to do drugs or they used to do this. I remember one chick was talking about how she was, fucking everybody, and then she got saved, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, now you get saved.
Yeah.
At least you say you was gonna suck my dick. Damn, shit. So it's just to be able to talk about those things openly. I don't like goofy comedy. Don't get me wrong, I do like some goofy comedy, but the comedy that resonates to me is people's pain, because we've all been through it. And I think when you can make that funny, you're winning.
Yeah. So we've gone over for almost half an hour, but
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
You knew we were. I mean, look at who's on the panel here.
But you know what this is? This gives people insight. Every show is different. Like last week, Shantae was on the show, and she talked about her process in writing jokes. And sometimes in the process of writing jokes, it has to get thick and it has to get like this, because that's where a lot of the humor comes up from for people like us. And people will judge us because we're not household names because we're doing this. But then Dave Chappelle can do a whole special talking about George Floyd and all of the stuff that happens, to the people that with black police brutality with black men, and it was specific to black men. I said, people think they'll say he's brilliant, he's a genius, and so part of comedy is it getting uncomfortable to get through the jokes. And the funny thing is that everyone, appreciated it. Black people don't have to tap dance for other people. Con 392. We're not here for your entertainment. You can go somewhere else. I always say, this is my example. I ain't no big country music person, but I don't go to Garth Brooks's page and say, yo, country music is trash. I don't do that.
Ida, and that person, I'm telling you, I've tried to troll people. I really have. But I did not remember that somebody loves me. A lot of times, you know what I mean? Like, for you to sit down and waste time, because you got to give them they need a hug, because if they wasn't here trying to pester us, which we don't give a fuck about, they'd be somewhere else probably pestering their mama or abusing somebody. So I want him to stay here as long as he can. So, because I know while he's here doing that nonsense, the streets is safe.
Mic drop. I want to say thank you to you both for being here, because I love you both and I think you're super funny. Please follow them. Go check them out. Check out their social media. Check out their comedy, because they're both brilliant and funny, and they talk about things that hey, I like the spectrum of comedy. Sometimes I'm in that mood where I want to see Darren Carter with his flashlight because I'm just so mad at the world and I just need to release. And then, but I like Louis Black. I like Tony Roberts. I like Patton Oswalt and everything in between, because that's what comedy is supposed to be. Absolutely. But on my platform, we give voices to people of color, and here we don't tap dance for anybody. We do what the fuck we want to do and go wherever we want to go, because we free. So anyway, I want to say thank you to all the people who come back. That poor boy with the crush. How could he have resisted Minnie Yamaneika?
He was cute too. Shout out to Andy Camp. He was fine, but
Yeah,
if that had panned out, I probably wouldn't even be on this show right now. I'd be married to a nigga named Con 392.
if you gave up. So, but I want to say thank you to y'all for always showing up and supporting. And, you know, you guys always share and we get the views. And I'm very thankful and grateful for that. So I just want to say thank you, Jamie, Kiki for free. You know, so many of y'all just show up, Ray and Zay, and it's just refreshing. We'll be back next week with another spin on comedy and jokes and from another person's perspective. That's how we do it. And have a great night and be safe. And thoughts and prayers and love and light to the people of Beirut.
Absolutely.